I didn't realize I had a problem until the day Gran Betty made me walk back into a shop and return something I didn't even want to let go of. I remember standing there, holding the bag tighter than I needed to, trying to justify it. "It was on sale," I told her. "I'll use it. I really like it." She didn't argue. She just looked at me, calm, steady, and said, "Child, liking something and needing it are two very different prices." I didn't understand it then. I thought money was simple. You earn it, you spend it, you enjoy life. But Gran Betty wasn't watching my money. She was watching my patterns. And years later, I realized something that changed everything. I didn't have a spending problem. I had a feeling problem. If you've ever looked at your bank account and thought, "How did I spend that much?" Stay with me. And if that question has ever frustrated you, even a little bit, take a second to like this video. It helps more people find this kind of clarity, and honestly, more people need this than we realize. Because what I'm about to share isn't budgeting, it's something deeper. Every Sunday, Gran Betty had a ritual. No matter what was going on, she'd sit down by the mantelpiece, pull out this old biscuit tin, and place it between us like it meant something. Inside were receipts. Old ones, new ones, folded, crumpled, some barely holding together. She called it the truth jar. And one day, she handed me a red pen and said, "Today we're not counting money, we're counting honesty." I laughed at first. I thought it was just another way of doing a budget. But then she said something I'll never forget. A receipt isn't a record of what you bought. It's a record of how you felt when you bought it. That's when everything shifted. She told me to pick one. I grabbed a small receipt, £7.80. Coffee and cake. "Easy," I said. "That's just food." "That's the excuse. What's the truth?" And suddenly I was back in that moment, sitting alone, dragging out time, not wanting to go home yet, and I realized I wasn't hungry, I said quietly. "So what were you?" I paused, and then I said it. "Lonely." "Then write that, because you didn't buy food, you bought a feeling." If that hit you, even slightly, subscribe now, because this is exactly what Gran Betty's Money Wisdom series is about. Not just money, but understanding yourself. Because here's the truth most people never learn. You don't spend money. You spend emotions, stress, boredom, loneliness, exhaustion. That late night scroll where something suddenly feels urgent, like it will fix your day, your mood, maybe even your life. Gran Betty used to say, "If it feels urgent, it's probably emotional, not essential." And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Let me ask you something. What's the last thing you bought that you didn't actually need? Not the small things, the one that made you pause, even just for a second. Now here's the real question. What were you feeling right before you bought it? Take a second. Seriously. Because that answer right there, that's where your money is really going. I didn't always listen to Gran Betty. There was a time I ignored everything she taught me, and it cost me more than I expected. I remember one month in particular, I told myself I deserved things. I'd had a stressful few weeks, I was tired, overwhelmed, and every purchase felt justified. A takeaway here. Something online there. Clothes I didn't need but convinced myself I'd wear. Individually, nothing looked extreme. But by the end of the month, I checked my account. And I felt it. Not just financially, emotionally. Because none of it fixed anything. The stress was still there. The exhaustion was still there. The only difference was I had less money and more regret. I went to Gran Betty and told her I didn't understand how it got that bad. She didn't look surprised. She just said, "You're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because your emotions are spending faster than your wisdom." That one stayed with me. So she gave me something better than a budget. She gave me a system. She called it the Emotional Audit. And it's simple, but it's not easy. For 7 days, you don't change your spending. You don't restrict. You don't judge. You just track the truth. Every single time you spend money, you write down one thing. What you were feeling. Not what you bought. Not the category, the feeling. Because food is easy. Stress is honest. Clothes is easy. Insecurity is honest. Gran Betty used to say, every pound has a job. If you don't assign it, your emotions will. And when you do this for a full week, something powerful happens. Patterns start to show up. Clear ones. And this is where it gets interesting. Because most people fall into one of these patterns. Maybe you'll recognize yourself here. There's the I deserve it spender. The one who's had a long day, a hard week, and uses spending as a reward. Gran Betty used to say, I deserve it, is one of the most expensive sentences you'll ever say. Then there's the late night spender. Tired, scrolling, vulnerable. Everything feels more necessary after 10 at night. That's not clarity, that's exhaustion making decisions. Then there's the social spender. Buying things to fit in, to keep up, to not feel left behind. Gran Betty would say, don't let other people's lifestyles put your wallet under pressure. And then there's the bad day fixer. The one who tries to turn a difficult day into a better one with a purchase. But here's the truth. You can't fix an emotional problem with a financial decision. And this is where I used to get it completely wrong. I thought awareness would fix everything. But it didn't. Because even when I understood my patterns, I still felt the urge. That's when Gran Betty gave me the rule that changed everything. If it costs more than £20, she said, you wait 24 hours. No exceptions. At first I resisted it. But then I tried it. And something surprising happened. Most of the time, I didn't want the thing anymore. Because impulse fades, emotion settles, clarity returns. She used to smile and say, impulse is expensive, discipline is cheap. But she didn't stop there. Because she knew something most people ignore. If you remove the spending, the feeling is still there. So she taught me replacement, not restriction. When you feel the urge to spend, you don't suppress it. You redirect it. Go for a walk. Call someone. Sit with a cup of tea and no distractions. Write it down. She called them zero-cost comforts. And she'd say, peace is cheaper than regret, but people buy regret every day. Now let me show you what happens when you actually live like this. Not for a day, not for a week, but for a few months. You stop fearing your bank account. You stop checking your balance with anxiety. You start buying things calmly, not reactively. You feel in control, not restricted, not deprived, just clear. Gran Betty used to say, peace isn't loud, child, it's quiet, and that's how you know it's real. Here's the part no one talks about. Some of you don't have a money problem at all. You have an avoidance problem. Money is just where it shows up. That purchase wasn't about the item. It was about not wanting to feel something. And once you understand that, you stop trying to fix your finances first. And you start understanding yourself. And one last thing Gran Betty made me see. Don't look at the price, she'd say. Look at the life. If something costs £45, she wouldn't ask if I could afford it. She'd ask, how many hours of your life is that? 4 hours. 5. Is it worth that? Because money comes back. Time doesn't. So here's what I want you to do. For the next 7 days, don't change your spending. Just track the truth. Every purchase, every feeling. No filters, no excuses. At the end of the week, sit down and look at it. Ask yourself, where am I spending emotionally? What keeps showing up? What am I trying to fix? That's your starting point. That's your shift. Because you are no longer someone who spends to cope. You are someone who understands before you act. If this made you think differently, even for a moment, like this video so more people can find it. Share it with someone who always says, "I don't know where my money goes." Because now you know, it goes to feelings. And if you're ready to take this further, subscribe and start watching Gran Betty's Money Wisdom series. Because this isn't just about saving money. It's about building discipline, clarity, and a kind of peace most people never reach. Gran Betty always said, "If you buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't like, you'll end up with a house full of junk and a heart full of worry." Let's do this differently. I'll see you in the next one.